I'm trying to live until I die. Come connect, you know it's a lewd state of mind. Yeah. Talking traveling, if you wanna fly. Fitness and finance, living a better life. Keep it raw, no filter. Living with no limit. Thank you for tuning in. Come on, let's get it.
Gentlemen, welcome to Lewd Studios, Lewd State of Mind. Thank you for coming down today. This has been a long time in the making, but you're here. Do you want to introduce yourselves to our listeners and our viewers?
Yeah, thanks, Brendan. So my name's Justin Carell. I'm one of the guides in No Roads Expeditions, and I had the pleasure of taking you on your first Kokoda trip in 2014.
I'm sure it was a pleasure, mate. I'm sure it was.
It was great fun. I really enjoyed it.
It was 2014 we figured that out.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago now.
Jeez.
Nearly. So
Yeah. And I'm Pete Miller from No Roads Expeditions. I'm the guy who started No Roads Expeditions and got you on the track, I guess. Well,
You're the reason why we're all sitting here today.
well,
How does that make you feel, mate?
well, I don't know if I'm the reason. I mean, the reason you went to Kokoda was to do something awesome, and I just helped you do
You
it.
created the platform.
opportunity.
The
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I did go was that I did hear something in the media about Kokoda and the company that took these trekkers. It was Gary Lyons and
Yep. Sam Newman.
Sam Newman.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was listening to it on the radio or something.
Was that before they were going, or? Must have
I
been
think it was
before
after they came. I think it was after they came
Was
back.
it that long
Yeah.
ago? Wow.
Yeah. So when did they go?
Must have been the year before then, or what month did you go?
It was early in the year, wasn't it?
Okay, so it
April.
must have been earlier in the year then.
Yeah.
October we went.
Yeah.
So when is the trekking season for Kokoda? When's it from?
This is a question we get asked all the time, and the reality is all year long it's going to be hot. There's going to be weather changes and stuff like that. So it really just aligns with people's opportunities to get there with their public holiday or with their annual leave or whatever they need to take, and the busier periods around some of the the important war dates where there's anniversaries like Anzac Day and stuff. So, you know, you don't trek during our summer because that's their wet season.
Yep.
So,
So
Yeah,
how
I'd say late March to end of November is
Yep.
the best time.
And how many treks per annum are you doing within that period?
Well, prior to the pandemic, we were doing 33, 35 a year.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
a high volume. Let's talk about the pandemic. Shitty
Do
times.
we have to?
Well, let's touch on it because
put masks on.
let's touch on it because basically you're at the coalface. Your business
Yeah.
was directly affected
Yeah.
by COVID, more
Yeah.
so than anybody else. So when you knew that you had to shut down, what was going through your head? What were you thinking?
Well, I'm an eternal optimist. So
That's good.
sometimes it's a blessing and sometimes it's not so, yeah. So sometimes I can be a bit delusional, right? That's optimist, right? So I thought, how long could this thing really go for? Maybe a couple of months, we'll get it under control. Because no one knew. I was actually on the track when we were shutting down.
In Kokoda.
On Kokoda with a group.
Yep.
And my wife rang me on the sat phone saying Tom Hanks is in hospital with COVID in Brisbane. And that's when we thought, oh my God, Tom
Shit's
Hanks
getting
has
real.
got it. Right?
Shit's getting real.
Right. So we didn't know what was happening. It was like this zombie apocalypse. Everything out in the outside world was shutting down and we're just walking the Kokoda track, right? We're totally oblivious. And every day she'd ring me, oh, this is happening, this is happening. And we were the last group to come back into Australia, and then we're the first group that had to home quarantine. 13th
and
of
it was
March, I think it was, or the 20th of March.
And
or something.
14 days.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I home quarantined for 14 days. We had another group at the same time as us going the other way. We had to get a chopper in to fly them back because they were all doctors
Yep.
and surgeons.
They need to come
and
home.
they needed to come home.
Yeah.
Right. Because they were shutting the borders, right? So so they had to come home. And so, yeah, so for 14 days I sat at home and I was one of those idiots on Facebook, you know, this is what I'm doing on today in my home quarantine. I do like some challenge or whatever. Actually, people loved it, right? It was at the start, you know, everyone loved that.
It was
sort
a
of
novelty
stuff.
at
Yeah,
that
it was a
stage.
real novelty.
But you
know.
had to though, didn't you? What else could you do? You know, and people
Yeah.
got creative through COVID.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for operators like you that just get their legs cut off at the knees and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, 1 in 100 years, let's hope it doesn't happen again for another 100. But shitty times.
Yeah,
Now,
well, it closed, so yeah.
Let's hope it's built a lot of appetite for people to get out there and do things now.
well, I think it has. The trouble
Bit of
is
backlog.
that the prices have all gone up.
Yeah.
So when did you get back in action after COVID finished?
Last year, so 2022. So we did our first Kokoda Anzac Day last year. So the borders opened in, I think, March or
Yeah, I thought there was a March trip you said.
February.
Yeah.
And then Papua New Guinea opened as well.
Yep.
So it had to be two ways. So even if Australia opened, the other countries had to too. And then, so last year. So Australia's sort of a year behind everyone. The rest of the world were already opening up about a year earlier. So people who were going to Machu Picchu or Europe or whatever, they could go. But Australians weren't allowed to leave the country, basically. So we're about a year behind.
Or if
6
you
months
did
behind.
go anywhere, when you came back, you had to quarantine for those 2 weeks. So that's 2 more weeks out of your pay, out of your annual leave.
Yeah.
Well, let's back it up a bit. Where did it all start for you? Where was the inspiration? What happened? How did No Roads Expedition start?
Well, like all great things, Brendan, it was a complete accident, like champagne and blue cheese. So I was in the fire brigade with the MFB. I was a professional firefighter. And I was married and had some kids, and I found that all my holidays were starting to get a little bit
Mundane.
mundane. I was in Fiji, sitting by the pool, going, what the hell am I doing here? So I went and went back. I went to Indonesia with another fire brigade friend, and we climbed Mount Rinjani on Lombok, which was a really great trek. And we took a little handy cam with us, and we filmed the trip. And we had a mate who was in the fire brigade, Grant O'Connor, who could do voiceovers. So he did Sean Connery. I don't know what we were thinking. Anyway, so we did this video and we showed people, and people go, "Oh wow, I'd love to do that," And so we thought, the mate of mine and I, thought that we could do little documentaries on ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and then sell it to Fox or whatever. This is sort of before Nat Geo Adventures and that came out. Yeah.
What year are we talking?
This is 2001, 2002, I think. Yeah. And then so we got another group of guys to go back to do the same trip, but we got a better camera and a better tripod and a proper microphone and all this sort of stuff. And we went and did the same trip, and it was a really great trip and a lot of drama, and my brother couldn't make it and blah, blah, blah. And so we did another video, and people really liked that, and we thought, we tried to sell it, and obviously we weren't very good documentary makers, but we were pretty good at putting trips together. So before we knew it, we had more people wanting to go back to Indonesia, and then we thought, what else could we do? And that's when Kokoda started. It was on the radar, And so we thought we'd go back to Kokoda in 2005 or 6, I think it was. And
Was anybody doing Kokoda before?
Yeah. There's been people doing it since the 90s, but it's been really small groups.
Hundreds.
Yeah, just in the hundreds, yeah. And, so we took a group back in 2005 or 6, I can't remember. We had the Deputy High Commissioner coming on the trip. I don't know how we got her. But yeah, we did that, and it was really exciting. We did the same thing, did a video, and showed people. And again, we still wanted to keep the documentary dream alive, but it just started to take off. We put a little website together, and then the mate I started with, he wanted it to be a bit more of a hobby, and I thought, oh no, I really love doing this. So I bought him out after maybe a year, a little bit over a year. It wasn't worth anything, but I bought him out.
It's not long, 1 year.
No, and then 2008 it exploded. Like Kokoda was, like, I think it had like 6,500 people did the
I think
trek.
it was almost a peak.
Yeah, it was the
never
peak.
gone
Yeah,
higher
it was the
than that.
peak. Yeah,
Yeah.
6,500 did it, and normally it's around the 3,500. And I think I did like 800 trekkers that year. I did the track 9 times that year. And
I mean, that in itself is no mean feat,
It's pretty impressive.
as we'll get to later on about
And
the,
I was still
the
in the
track.
fire brigade. Sorry, fire brigade. I wasn't really that sick.
I've just got a question. Did you ever get in the fire brigade calendar? Were you one
No,
of those
never.
guys?
No.
You look like you could be.
No. Oh,
you look
thanks,
like you've
buddy.
got the rig for it.
It's a bit of a bromance
I'm
here.
feeling a little bit uncomfortable here, Brendan.
If you get hot, mate, you can take your
Why are
sweater
you
off.
turning the temperature up here? Yeah, so that's how I did. So it was by accident. I wanted to do something. When did it? Made a film. Thought I'd sell the films, and people like what we did, and that's sort of it. So we still do little films and stuff, but it's just for marketing, really.
Well, your social media and your marketing is amazing. I mean, you look at the photos on your website, and you just go, "I want to go there."
Yeah.
You know, and the first time that we met was actually the base camp, the Everest trip, information night at Sandy. I don't know if you remember. You probably don't remember this good-looking dude.
Yeah.
And we were all set to go, and I think that was prior to COVID or something else came up.
Yeah.
Maybe I got married again or something. But
Yeah.
it's and for me personally now as I get older, as you say, sitting next to a pool, I can take it or leave it. But actually going out and doing something with my free time and achieving something, for me, it's that achievement. It's that climbing a mountain, or it's canoeing wherever you're going to go, and just exerting and just enjoying life.
Yeah.
You know? So
I mean, everyone loves a pool, right? But
don't get me wrong.
At the end of the trip, it tastes much better. It feels much better, right? So spend a few days at the end, but go do something exciting in nature.
Yep.
There's nothing like it, right? And then you come back and sit by the pool and sort of
reminisce and
reminisce
go, yeah,
and
exactly.
go, wow, I deserve this beer, you know?
I reckon the key word's adventure for me. I just want that sense of adventure, and working for you, doing some of these trips has been certainly helping in that space.
Yeah.
When did it start for you, Justin? When were you employed?
Well, it sounds like it was pretty soon after the heyday when Kokoda kicked off. So 2007, I'm in the SES, and a whole group of emergency services banded together as part of a fundraiser for the Children's Hospital. And the activity we were going to do that we funded ourselves was to go on Kokoda. So I think it ended up like 42 people. It was a really big one. 2 groups.
Was that 2007?
That was 2007.
So it was prior to the big year. I remember that group because I was meant to.
Well, you had to come and help.
I was meant to. Because I think one of my guides pulled.
Yeah,
out
one of
or
your
something.
guides had unfortunately had a stack and couldn't
That's
go.
right. And so I walked maybe the first 2 days, and then Josh
bugged out.
Redfern, who's in the CFA, he took over. Incredible job.
He was excellent.
Because I went home because I had family pressures. So wow.
But that was a big expedition, and the whole idea was it would work because obviously Kokoda has 2 ends. So one group would go from one end and one would go to the other end. We'd have this big meet up in the middle. It'll be real party and everything, as much as it can be on Kokoda. But because of this logistical problem, we all went together. So it was a monster expedition, 42 people, and you remember in ours was 17 trekkers. There's quite a lot of people involved with the local porters and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a
for
big
42,
crew.
it was enormous. It was like this big conga line. Not something that we promote.
We never do that anymore.
No.
So
No. You only want to do that once, wouldn't you?
But that's how I got connected in. And then I think when I got back, I bugged him a lot saying, hey, I really want to do something like this because I'd done a bit of outdoor stuff before as a guide. And I said I really would like to do it. And I found out I had a military connection through my great uncle that was involved in the Battle of Dunedin and Kokoda and so on. And so I thought, I've got a bit of a connection to this. I want to do it. Yeah. And then,
Talking about that military connection, you did the reenactment trek.
Well, I tried to do it.
I think because I remember
Twice.
you on the social media because you do it in all the original equipment, all the original fabrics for the uniform.
Oh yeah, the whole kit down to the boots and the underwear we're wearing.
How many kgs were you hauling?
I think it's similar to what you carry if you carry like a full pack of gear.
It's about 17 to 20 kgs.
Yeah, but it's uncomfortable. It's the stuff they wore during the war, so it's all just
All these shitty
hessian
fabrics.
and thin fabric straps, no padding, and it's all stuff that they wore in the Middle East, so it wasn't suited to the jungle at all. So yeah, quite challenging. And look, the people that did make it all the way across on both trips just said it was the most amazing experience, reenacting essentially the walk from, well, not the walk, the hike from Owers Corner all the way to Kokoda, and how hard it must have been, you know. I mean, and we're in our modern days.
Can't imagine.
Sort of.
So what you said you've tried twice.
Well, yeah, look, the first year we partnered with another company and we set it all up. And I think there's about, I don't know, 20-odd people in it, so it was quite a big undertaking, and it was all video documentary and everything like that. But unfortunately on the first day I must have eaten something wrong in the hotel, and I got, we think it might have been something like typhoid, salmonella or something, so pretty bad. And basically, you remember the last river crossing if you're going the other way, called the Goldie River. So I got down there and I was very, very sick, so I had to be evacuated the next day.
So soon, isn't it? Like,
I know, it was rough as. Like
1 hour from the start, really.
So,
Is
yeah, you walk down from what we normally do as an end, but the start of the track, essentially, and, yeah, that happened. So I got a bit of a taste of it, which is why this man here was kind enough to say, let's do it again the next year. And then, of course, you know, there's a fair bit of preparation and work to get that sort of an expedition up and running. So we did that again. And the same guide, Shane, who was in the first one, who's now in the military himself, he's like, oh, not again. And I started fading along the way. And I got something called rhabdomyolysis, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Jesus.
And
can you get a shot for that?
Well, no. And look, it affects marathon runners and anyone who does something that's an extreme activity where there's a whole lot of envelopes pushed.
Yep.
And for me, I probably didn't give myself enough of a recovery from the first year. And for whatever reason, by day 4, I had to get off because my body was shutting down. So it was another evacuation, big drama. But the cool thing is, all the rest of them got through. And on both of those trips, everyone just said it was the most amazing experience because, you know, not only when you do it, not wearing all that, you know, old-fashioned gear, it's a really important experience, but to try and do it and to be one of the soldiers of the time. So we all had a personality which was a real soldier of the time.
Yep. It's an adventure, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's an adventure. Talking about evacs, now, you said day 1 you were an hour in on the first one.
Yeah.
The second one you were 4
I was about
days.
4 days in, yeah.
So
I probably
4
should have
days
gone
you're pretty much in the crutch of the jungle in the middle.
How do you get? It would have been smelly too.
You got swamp ass through that whole thing. So, how do you get out? How do you get out? What happens? What's the process?
So
well, because it was a real reenactment, we couldn't use a helicopter because they didn't have helicopters.
No, they just left me on the
So
side
we had
of the
a
track
mule.
to die. But no joke, the first time, our porters, who were also reenacting and dressed in the gear of the fuzzy wuzzies of the day, so they had just basically like a skirt, you know, a Hessian skirt thing and a top, they made a stretcher, just like they do these days when we're out there. We need to get someone from really difficult spot where a helicopter can't land.
Actually, I think
somewhere.
Just to stop you there, Mav, I think there's a photo on the Kokoda file with a stretcher that Justin.
Yeah, that's right. That was from Gary Lyon and Sam Newman's trip.
Yeah, have a look at that. If you can just bring that up. Sorry, if you want to carry on, we'll get that. We'll get that shot up.
I guess the difficulty is because it is a rugged mountain track, as you know, you can't land a helicopter just anywhere. So it usually comes in a village airstrip or on a knoll or something like that, and they're incredibly talented, these pilots. So for me in the first one, it was pretty easy because once we got across the river, the next day we walked across the valley to a place called Goodwater, and there's a pretty good air spot for a helicopter to land. So they landed there and took me off, and just saying, pretty awesome helicopter flight, flying low over all the trees and everything.
I bet you it was.
I wasn't really conscious to watch it. The second time, we had to get me to a spot where we could do that, and I probably punched a bit further along the track than I should have medically, because I knew it was going to be really hard for everyone to have to get me out on day 3 because we weren't near any one of those spots. So someone would have had to bloody carry me the whole way and stuff. So I probably made it worse by going a bit further. But when I did, I just collapsed on the ground and said, right, helicopter, thanks. And it came.
Where did you get to?
Just getting my bearings right. We got past there. So it would have been...
You got over Imita Ridge?
Yeah, it was over Imita. I think it was...
Down to Wale?
It was actually Hoi.
No, that's the other end. Yorabawa.
Yes.
Yorabawa village,
Yep. And they landed on a knoll as well. Like, it was incredible what they did.
It's amazing area.
Yeah, definitely Irribarra Village. But
And
Shane
walking,
had to...
And walking, so there's two ways, right? So you walked north to south out, which is the right way to walk.
Yep.
But you guys walked south to north, but walking south to north, you have really hard days straight away.
Yeah, instead of easing into it,
And then
which
instead of easing into it from north to south, you get up to Taniki and then to Alola. It's sort of undulating days, whereas the first two on here is like bang. Yeah, so
There
this
you
is
go.
the sort of stretcher that they would have
It's
made.
very
for you.
similar. Yep. I think they used some Hessian bags and stuff as well with our one, because we had them as part of the reenactment bit.
who's that? That's Gary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is Gary, yeah.
Yeah.
So he
So-
wasn't evacuated, but
He just had a go at it,
yeah,
didn't
no, Sam asked me, can you set this up for me? It'd be because
Because it was all
reenact-
documented, wasn't
it's
it?
And it's to reenact when he was taken off the MCG. Remember that time when Gary Lyon was taken off? I don't know. I think he did his hammy or something. He's like,
They did.
and
They
it's
did
very
stir
famous,
each other a lot.
very famous. I think it might have been a grand final. I can't remember, and so he thought, I'll get him on this too. So I organised them to do a stretcher for him.
I was just going to say, in terms of the gear we're wearing and stuff on that stick, I've
Enactment.
got a picture in there in my expeditions folder. I don't know if
Yeah,
that can be brought up.
Mav, just if you want anything brought up, just that's what he's there for. That's what he's there for. Oh, is that?
That's probably not it. But
That's a nice one.
yeah,
Justin?
look, you've got to
Mav,
be a bit of
come
a
on,
character
man.
on the track, and when you're the guide, you get up to all sorts of tricks. But that particular photo was because the local guys are so fun to be with, as in I'm talking about
Yeah.
the locals on the track.
Yeah.
And I kept on asking them one day, hey, what is it that I can say to someone in your pidgin language that would be really funny to them, and they'd, all die laughing. And they told me to say Lavia. And I didn't know what it was. And then I kept on running around saying that, and it actually means I love you. And they'd just be rolling on
Lavia.
the ground laughing because this white man saying, Lavia. So I stuck a thing in my head and said that one time. And
Sorry to
someone-
interject. What photo did you want me to pull up again?
Oh, it's the one just looking in a military uniform. It was in my expeditions folder. In that photo there, you can see we're both wearing the khaki sort of gear of the time. And we actually spent a best part of a year researching exactly what they wore then, because
Yep.
it's different to what they would have worn 2 or 3 months later, and it's different to what they would have
Oh,
worn.
really? Is it?
Yeah, so there's some things that we were wearing there that, some other soldiers who do reenactment, or they might be real soldiers, would go, hang on, why have you got that? And the reason is because that's what the soldiers had. And you probably might remember, we were talking a lot about the fact that the soldiers were quite frustrated that they didn't have camouflage and they didn't have some of the gear they really needed on the track to fight in a jungle. Because they were basically equipped with stuff that came straight out of the Middle East. They learned it a little bit while they were digging airstrips and stuff in Port Moresby before they punched over the hills, but
Yep.
they really struggled, and a lot of the gear is totally inappropriate. So later on in the war, they adjusted things, but earlier on, so it was quite a challenge to find exactly the right bits and pieces.
Tell you what, mate, you're a good-looking rooster. Look at you.
I tell you, I think I actually had to get myself together for that photo because
Oh, was that the one where you?
that's the first trip, and then
Yeah.
literally about, I don't know, an hour later, I'm spewing my guts up. So
Yeah.
yeah, not good. It was a really yummy club sandwich, I reckon, at the
Oh,
resort. I don't know why.
Dirty
I got
old,
so sick.
dirty old clubby, mate. That'll do it to you every
Because
time.
I'm going, how come I got sick and you guys didn't? And they all ate burgers and I had a club sandwich. So I'm
Was it
bringing
the
to
was
them.
it the lettuce the lettuce?
we
in the-
reckon.
Didn't wash it.
Well, because they're washing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
That's a rookie mistake,
Look,
dude.
and who knows? It could have been me not washing my hands or something silly like that, which can happen. So
Well.
I'm not going to blame the lovely resort, but I am.
Well, that's about the only good thing that came out of COVID. People actually washing their hands properly.
Yeah.
Jesus. Now we're talking about.
yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, so we also had a rifle, and all the guys, we had to sleep on the, basically your rain cape became your ground mat and all that sort of stuff. So there was no luxuries, and they were eating bully beef and the whole lot. So I probably was on a winner, not going the whole way.
I was going to say rather you than me, mate.
Yeah.
Good. I've got to take my hat off to you. We're going back to the evacs. If you're doing the Kokoda Trail, evac's part of your travel insurance, or is it part of the trek cost?
It's part of the insurance, so you get insurance on top of the trek cost.
Yep. So that's personal travel insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
which-
just got to make
which
sure
covers
that
evac.
you got to make sure it covers evac and
It is a good way to get. It is a good way to get a chopper float, though, isn't it?
Yeah, why
I mean,
not?
when you think
Like-
about how much chopper floats
But
are.
after all that training to get on the track, it's a good idea to avoid it.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing that I took for granted through my whole trek was my health and safety, my well-being. Obviously, you're told about what to do, what not to do with the water safety,
Yep.
washing your hands and bits and pieces. But at no point during the whole 8 days, 9 days did I think I was my health was at risk or my safety was at risk.
It's good to hear.
Obviously, maybe it's a mindset. I mean, I didn't go there thinking I'm not going to complete this journey.
Yeah.
I went on that trek going, that beer at the end of it's going to taste fucking good.
Yeah.
And
Nice, doesn't it?
Well, 99.1 or 2% of people complete it, right? So, they talk about how tough Kokoda is, but 99 point whatever percent complete it.
yeah, but
So
but
it's
also,
tough, but everyone completes it, right?
yeah, but also you guys set them up for success.
Yeah.
You've got a comprehensive program of training prior to you go, all the information evenings that you do with what's required, what you should and what you shouldn't do. So you're setting people up for success, which is what you'd want to do as a business, because you don't want people failing and feeling bad about not achieving something,
Yeah.
or having to get evac'd out and putting people under undue stress.
Yeah.
So that's the one
and
thing
I think
found.
food's an important part of it.
Food.
Food, yeah. So when I did Kokoda the first time, I went through a local company, yeah, and we ate bully beef and noodles for 9 days, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And by day 4, no one wanted to eat because it's like, oh, this is crap.
Yeah.
And so, and on all of our trips, food's really, really important, right? Because food's
for
really
sure.
important to me in my normal life, right?
Yeah.
So it should be double when you're out trekking, right? So that was one of the big things that we do is make sure that you have a really good food. So we do, like I saw that you did pizzas on yours, and
Did we? I don't
yeah,
remember
there's
that.
pizzas.
At Alola, the
I've
second
got a
village.
photo. I've got a photo. There's pizzas on your trip, and
Can you bring that up, Maeve? Bring out the pizza shot.
No, it may not be in the. It was in Justin's book.
It's in,
I saw it.
was it in your folder, Justin? or
I
not?
haven't included a picture of the food.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think
And
the other
there's,
folder's the one with all
like,
the pictures.
Yeah, there's like curries, and so we tried it. Donuts were on your trip. Do you remember the donuts?
Jeez, look, I'm
Get the book out. No, he's got early onset
Serious, maybe
Alzheimer's here. He's got-
maybe I'm just blocking that sort of stuff out. I will be honest with you. I thought there wasn't enough food during the day.
Yeah.
I remember, and we talked about this with Stu and John.
Yeah, I heard them. Yeah,
The dinners were great, but during the day when you need all those calories,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was enough because we were doing noodles and saladas and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
so that was, as I said, that was about the only gripe I had.
There's
But
the
look,
donuts.
there's the donuts.
I don't know if you can
There's
see
the
that,
donuts.
but
No, I do remember those.
yeah. And what did you have for breakfast? This is an important question.
Good question, Justin. Can you remind me?
What did you have? Though, come on, you must remember what you had for breakfast.
Porridge.
Porridge.
Oatmeal?
Maybe you didn't have enough porridge.
so yeah, you had your porridge, and some mornings there was bananas and all the
Yes.
usual bits and pieces.
Although
of cereal.
it's funny that you say that because what we've introduced since your trip is, I think on 3 or 4 of the days we've introduced a morning tea.
Yep.
So you walk a couple of hours, we stop and we have a cup of tea and some biscuits or something like that, and then we keep walking and then we have lunch.
Yep.
So it sort of supplements that. I know exactly what you mean.
Well, as I said, it's not a criticism. I think just for me personally.
But you looked awesome at the end, didn't you?
I was in the best shape of my life.
I reckon you touched on a point before about preparation. There wouldn't be many people that would have prepared to go on that trip by doing, even if it's only 3 or 4 days in a row, where in the morning, before the day's gone too far, you've already walked up and down some monster hills.
Yeah.
You probably haven't had the big breakfast that you might normally have, or even a breakfast, because maybe you don't have a breakfast in your busy life, but you should, and you should be stocking up in the morning because you're just about to go and walk some monster hills. So that's a bit unusual for people. So practicing to get used to doing that and eating when the meals are there and having a good meal to get yourself ready, it's quite tough. Like it's a difficult thing to adjust to.
I think maybe the other thing was that I was conscious of all the other people. Like there's an amount of food that has to go round everybody. So maybe I'm conscious of like just having what I'm given and what
Yeah.
just so everybody else has some as well.
And some
too.
people are bigger eaters than others. Like, so I'm not a big eater, right? So I just don't eat a lot. Like, I very rarely will go back for seconds and I don't fill it up. Yeah. But you do see some people going back for thirds and you're like, where do you put it, man?
in the
Honestly,
tank.
it's
In the
unbelievable.
tank. As Stewie was saying, sits in the tank, mate.
And then there's people who don't eat too much because they're a bit scared about going to the loos on the track. So they think, I just won't eat, so I won't have to go.
Do we want to talk? Do we want to
Yeah,
touch
let's
on that
talk
right
about
now?
it. No,
touch
let's
on
get it
right now.
out. Let's get it out there.
Okay. Well, what
was
do you
your
want to
memory?
do? You want to know my experience?
Yeah, go on,
Well,
tell
as
us.
we know, I had an arthritic hip, so I had a lot of trouble lowering myself down to squat over these holes. So I'm trying to hold on to anything I possibly could, not to fall into
Even though you
these
don't want
fucking
to hold
things.
it because it's disgusting.
Exactly. But when you got to go, you got to go. It's part of my everyday routine. If you don't shit, you die. The old saying. It's like, and there's
simple as that.
I think what John was saying that he didn't shit for 4 days. That's not healthy. It's
No.
not healthy.
But it isn't unusual for people
But when
who
he
are doing
did go,
something different.
it was a diamond came out.
Nobody was going to go dig that fucking thing out, were they?
No,
Unbelievable.
they're sometimes a bit average, but they are squat loos, and the locals have to create them for us out in the middle of nowhere. So
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's the thing is you've got to appreciate everything that's afforded to you on those treks. There's no place for being precious.
One thing I've never seen on the Kokoda Track is a magazine rack in the toilets.
there's a couple of dead snakes.
Wait, well, what sort of magazines are they going to have in there?
Well, no one's going to sit there
Like
and
Jungle
and
Weekly?
just talk. No one's going to read through either. You're right. You go in,
You do it.
and you're out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the same for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So they've slowly gotten. They are a bit better than when you were there last. They've got these green plastic toilets now in most of the
that's
places,
plush.
which is
That's
pretty
too,
good.
That's way too plush.
Fancy.
Take those away.
Yeah, take them away. That's
People
right.
don't need to experience that.
Exactly. But I remember when a couple of toilet experiences, if you don't mind me
Sure.
saying.
Fire away, mate.
I remember one guy went into the toilet and to a squat toilet, never done one before, and actually sat
Oh no.
On the ground.
on the ground
hole.
with his bottom in the. That's disgusting. I didn't shake his hand, and but the very first trip we did, we were at, I think it was Daniki or something, and they had the toilet there, and people were coming back. There may have been a couple of toilets, and people were coming back from the toilet going, "Oh God, don't use the one on the right." Why is that? Oh, some dirty guy. That wasn't the word guy. It was other words. Has left his business on the side.
Oh, really?
Hasn't gone in.
Missed.
So you got to
Oh,
shit,
one
eh?
of those locals or something.
Send 'em
Yeah,
back.
that's what they say. So anyway, we kept walking and got to the last night at Wale Creek, and everyone's buddies now. Yeah, we're all friends, and
Yep.
we're talking about the trip. And this guy goes, "Listen, guys, I've got to fess up. You know, the first night, that was me. I missed and." I couldn't push it in. I couldn't push it into the hole.
What did they all say about you?
Well, they cracked it with him. Oh, big time. They really cracked it with him.
the
So,
thing
yeah.
about it is there is a lot of laughs on the trip, even though there's some troubling days and you're getting a bit, you might feel a bit unwell and you might be finding it hard. It still is really piss funny. Like there's so many.
Well, that's the ultimate uniter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I got a mates that have been in the cops. That's their release. That's what they do to cope. But yeah, I love the fact that I didn't know anybody on the trek. I was delayed 2 treks, I think, and so the people, as I said to John and Stu, the people on that trek, it was just by chance that we landed all on the same trek.
Yep.
Great bunch of people, very diverse in ages and
backgrounds, everything. Yeah.
exactly. And by the end of it, as you say, what are you going to do while you're walking during the day? You talk,
Chat to each other. Yeah.
But that's one of the great things, isn't it, about
Well,
going
it's
on a
amazing.
trip, being out in nature, right?
Yep.
Is you're walking, you've got no internet, so you're not distracted, and you're actually connecting with human beings. And that's
Just
one
how
of the
we-
great things about it, and telling jokes and sharing experiences, because you're all doing exactly the same thing, right?
Exactly.
So this is one of the great things about going on a trek or going kayaking or climbing mountains is you're experiencing the same thing, and you can share that experience with each other, and you have this camaraderie is created around that shared experience, right?
Well, that creates a bond, that bond of
Absolutely.
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and that's something that you never expect
No.
going into it.
No.
It becomes part of that journey.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it.
And also the overcoming of challenges. So every single person that comes on a trip has something that they're a bit worried about, whether it's fitness or coping with the mud and dirt, what we're going to eat, even the dunnies, all that sort of stuff. I've had everyone say, oh, I'm a bit worried about that. And they get over it. And at the end, they might whisper in your ear, hey, it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. And how good was it that I did, I got past that. A lot of people have fear of heights and they don't realise when they get there, some of the log crossings are quite high above the ground and they know they have to do it and they push through. And at the end of it, they go, I've just conquered my fear of heights and things like that. I mean, how good's that?
It's amazing because a lot of that stuff we take for granted, and those little fears, as you're saying, like the fear of heights. That's the beauty about doing a journey like that is that you get to it, you get to the end of it, and you've achieved something, not just the journey, but a little win along the way. And people need that.
Yeah.
People need that in their life, and that
Get pushed a bit.
yeah, because people get complacent. They get into their grind, and that's the beauty about what you guys do. You as I said, the preparation that you provide your trekkers prior to going sets them up.
And it can only go so far though, can't it? Because you probably remember before you got there, you might have thought what you think you were going into, but when you got there, it was so much different.
No, as I explained, I did no research. I trained, but I did no research about what I was getting myself into. I wanted to experience and immerse myself in it completely. As I said, my wife will research the shit out of somewhere. And it's really frustrating because she'll get somewhere and you go, oh, I recognise that because you see it on Google Maps or Google
like
Street
movies,
View.
previews for movies. They do half the movie now before.
Yeah,
you even
exactly,
get there.
exactly. And I didn't want to do that. And the one thing that was amazing about the journey was what you provided us along the way was all the history, all the knowledge, and that was the amazing part of it. As I said, at no point did I feel in danger. At no point did I think I was not going to complete it. It was physically challenging. We knew that. I knew what I was getting myself into.
Especially with the hip.
Yeah, exactly. But I said to myself, I've got to get the most out of my own bones before I get a hip replacement, and that was just another thing I needed to tick. But you set
And you've
yourself
had it
up.
replaced?
Yeah, I had it. I did it. It was a year after, I think.
I did. It was too long after. Yeah.
I did Mount Fuji in 2015, and I think it was shortly after that, or 2016. So they don't like to operate on you until it's at a point.
Yeah.
And I definitely got my worth out of it. So
I'm sort of heading that ways, but I want to try and go a bit further before I worry about it.
yeah. It's funny because they say once you get it done, you wonder why you put yourself through that much pain for that long. But it's just, I don't know. It just, to me, it was just part of the journey. Like you have to go to this point where you're going to wear it out, and then it needs replacing. But yeah, definitely, like that trip, I was on Voltarens all day, every day, and that was the only way I could have got
And
through
how
it.
is it now?
It's perfect.
So you can go do...
Well, I can't. Well, the thing is that my other hip's going now, so I can't run anymore, and I've got.
but that's okay. You don't need to.
No. There's plenty of things you do. Apart from run. I've done my running journey. We've been down that one.
You can go on one of the great kayaking trips.
Oh, there's
around
definitely-
Indonesia.
And there's hiking. I mean, so that's... Because I used to do a lot of running too, right?
Yep.
And as you get older, it's just not good for you, right?
Well, knees and hips
Especially,
and everything.
I'm quite big, so it's like, so why do it?
No.
Just do the things that are going to give you longevity and get you out there.
Exactly. Well, that was the one thing I found with doing Kokoda and doing Mount Fuji is that you don't need to run to get these sort of endorphin rushes.
Get the rush,
because hiking a day or getting to a peak, I mean, that's where it's at. So I've definitely shifted my my outlook on what I can do physically, and that just changes as you get older. You know? And as we were talking about before, we were talking about what's the I've got up there the plumb guide. You were talking about plumb guide.
Yeah.
Explain to me about plumb guide, because we were talking about how many years we've got and what we should do with the years that we have. So explain to me what we were talking about.
So plumb guide is it's actually like a stays.com or Airbnb thing. It's just another one of those. But what they've done is they've marketed using death as a motivator for you to go and do things, right? So they've got like this counter on their website saying if you're 57, you've got another 33 holidays, like on average. Let's say one a year, and you're going to live to whatever it is, yeah? And then it talks about the morbid or the bad things that can happen to you, like this places are perfect for a honeymoon. It's probably not going to be your last one, but statistically, and all this sort of stuff. So it's sort of playing on that. So, but it is true. So there's your life, so how long you're going to live for. But I don't think in those terms, because I might live to 100, but I can't. I'm not going to trek to 100, right? So my life, for me right now, is how many years am I going to get trekking, right? So when I go trekking with people who are 70, they're an inspiration for me.
Oh, for sure.
Wow, okay, I've got another 17 years, yeah? Or if I go someone trekking 75.
53.
53, yeah. So
You're good Nick, man. You're a really good Nick.
Thanks.
Seriously, that's twice of...
So, so being out there is really, that's the most important thing, is how long I've got.
Yep.
And of course, I want to keep doing it until I can't. And of course, the things I do now, I may not be able to do when I'm 80. I might be able to do them till I'm 75, and then I start doing less and less, right?
Yes.
But that's fine. And that's why I don't run anymore. Because if I run, it's going to take the years off my trekking.
At the end, exactly.
Because what I love is trekking, and I don't have to run to stay fit. I can do lots of other things to keep me fit and keep me trekking, right? So now it's not about the macho anymore. It's about me. It's about about me.
Yeah. And it should be. It's you look after number one before you can look after other people.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we were talking about earlier on, for me, it hitting the 50 mark, it's like, well, okay, how many summers and winters have I got left?
Yeah, right. Same.
And that's when I look at it. And my wife hates it because I said to her, my end goal is 65. It's not a big goal, but anything past 65 is a bonus.
Yeah.
But as you say, as you get older and your body deteriorates, there's less things you can do. So how many more years can I go snowboarding and enjoy it without pain or hurting myself? You know? How many boating adventures have I got during summer, and how long can I wakeboard for?
Yeah.
This is very much your state of mind concept there, that you've got to have the mental will to keep doing it as well.
Well, it's part of the whole ethos is that take check of what you've got. Physical items and possessions mean fuck all in the scheme of things, because you can't take it with you.
No.
When you're lying on your deathbed, you want to have memories of your adventures and the memories that you've created, not how much money you've got in the bank. And so Leeward's basically a product of that. It's just that state of mind and that ethos is like, you've only got one fucking shot at this, mate. You've only got one. So this is not a dress rehearsal.
And looking at the numbers, like you're saying, how many summers and winters, and it doesn't have to be morbid. It's a motivator.
Exactly.
Right? So you've got to look at it from the positive, that this is the thing that's motivating me, that because if you want to reject death, then you're living a fool's game, right? We're all going to die.
Yep.
Let's face up to it right now. And now let's live a good life. I don't want to live a good death.
No,
I want to live a good life now, right?
Well, that's the hardest thing, is actually having that conversation, whether it's with yourself or with your partner or with your family. You can't ignore the fact of what's going to happen.
Yes.
How do you want to go forward in your life, and all these emotions affect your family and your friends as you go forward, and having this positive outlook on, hey, I'm going to live my life the best I possibly can. That just radiates out to everybody that you know and touch.
Absolutely.
And
you don't want to get to that stage where the list of things you want to do you can't do them anymore because you haven't been checking them off along the way. You need to get there first and get in early.
Or physically, you just can't do them.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do what we're doing, I totally get it. Like if you love reading books, then great. But are you every summer reading your books? No.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
There's some
You're
excuse.
wasting your time.
Yeah.
Why
Going
aren't you
on
reading the books?
adventures
Why
overseas and-
aren't you doing the thing you love?
Yeah. You
Right?
should be creating memories to write books.
Yes, that's right.
But as you say, if reading books is your thing,
yeah, then do it.
exactly, let's do
Yeah.
it. This podcast is brought to you by Holy Shirt Australia. Holy Shirt Australia are 100% online. They're Australia's largest no minimum custom print and embroidery company. All their services are completed in-house and they can deliver all orders promptly and professionally. They like to keep it simple and straightforward, so they offer cool stuff that can be custom printed or embroidered to your liking. They have an easy-to-use online designer to build your custom apparel from the comfort of your home or office. They offer pricing that reflects your individual order, and remember, they are no minimum on all their products. They deliver what the customer expects when they expect it. They've got over 1,500 products ready for you to custom print or embroider today, right now. So head to holyshirt.com.au for all your custom clothing requirements. Hey, we just had to take a quick toilet break. Now, which one of you guys did the shit on the side of the toilet?
I wanted to reminisce.
I walked into that and just went, what the hell is
That's
going
not
on here?
true.
I was standing on the seat and I just couldn't balance properly.
That's what the rails are for.
I thought that was...
Yeah, not just for the disabled, no. Hey, we're talking about evac from Kokoda. What's the quickest time apart from you at 1 hour, what's the quickest time somebody's been evac'd?
There's been a few. There's been... so when you walk from Kokoda to Dunedin, so that's like 3 hours. So we had one woman basically took maybe 7 hours to do that,
Oh, really?
maybe a bit longer.
That's old,
So
eh?
once we got to Dunedin, we basically said,
This is not
"You're
going to
gonna go
fly.
back." So we had to walk it back. So we thought that was pretty quick. And then I had a guy walk from, at one stage we were walking from Owers Corner to Kokoda the other way, and we had a guy get to Goldie River, and he turned around
By
So-
himself.
pretty much. I
just
rang
said, "I'm
Jack
outta
and
here."
I said to Jack, I rang Jack and said, wait there, there's a guy coming back. And then we had another guy who I think walked, and again it was from Owers Corner, walked maybe 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, and then
Down the switchbacks, basically, and that's
turned
it.
around and said, nah.
Really?
Yeah. So, but he was like, he'd had heart surgery, wanted to do it for a few years, and
Yeah.
he was a really big guy, and I just think
So
he
it
had
was-
the dream, the dream.
Yeah.
The dream was the journey for him, really.
But genuinely
And then when you were
distressed that
there-
he wasn't going to make it.
So I'd say 15 minutes.
You know what? I can relate to that because, as I said, day one, after the long journey to get to Kokoda at the start of the trek, we met all the guides, had a bit of lunch,
Yep.
and then as soon as we put our packs on and started walking, it fucking rained.
That's good timing, eh?
Yeah.
Perfect. It was perfect.
So
Keeps
that was
the
early in the
temperature
year.
down.
Was that April, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, it was October this trip.
Was
Oh,
it?
You've got
said
the
it was
worst
April.
memory. You said it was early.
I was only going off what John and Stu
No,
was
no,
saying.
no.
So
They had no
October.
idea. I was watching that and again, they don't remember.
October.
October.
And that's
October.
really unusual to rain so early. But you would have had pretty good weather, though, right?
4th to the 13th. Yeah, we had mostly, not
Early in
raining
the year.
days.
It wasn't too bad, but it was just, as I said, as soon as we put our packs on, took the photos and went, right, we're walking. It was like,
Well,
comes
it's because we started around about 1 or 1:30, and that's exactly when the rain comes around 2 o'clock every day.
Yeah.
It's perfect timing.
Hey, talking about what no roads do, obviously Kokoda's been a staple for you guys. When did you start to diversify and expand your treks?
pretty much straight away. Like the year that we started in Kokoda, we went to Nepal as well, and of course Nepal is, I mean, the adventure capital of the world, really. Like if you want to do mountain trekking.
So this was for the base camp at
Yeah,
at Everest,
no, we
or
did.
no?
No, we did a mountaineering trip. So Mira Peak, and then you do a trek along this valley called the I forgot the name of the valley, but then you get to this place called Ampulapsa, which is a pass, and then you get back to the Everest base camp trek and back. So it's a really tough trek. So we were doing Nepal the same year as Kokoda. And then just from there, we just started expanding. So the following year, I went to Indonesia and started our kayaking business there around the Komodo Islands. So no one had ever kayaked the Komodo Islands before, so we went and did that. And then that's a real staple for us now. It's a big part of our business. And then, we started expanding into like East Timor. So we run trips from the south coast to the north coast, or vice versa. Because the Sparrow Force was there, the commando units that were fighting.
I don't know the history of it.
Yeah, so there were the commandos, the SAS. These sort of the precursor to them.
Yep.
And they were there.
Well, they're called Spider.
No, Sparrow Force.
Sparrow Force.
Yeah, and they were.
I don't know where I got Spider.
Just the catchy movie title. They
And
had
so basically, the Japanese had come through Indonesia, and at this time, East Timor was a Portuguese colony.
Yep.
And they'd come through East Timor and invaded it on their way to Papua New Guinea. And and so there were like 30,000 Japanese troops there, and there were 300 Australian troops. And basically they just did guerrilla warfare against the Japanese, really harassed them. And there was a secret boat that would run from Darwin to East Timor and drop off supplies and all this sort of stuff. So when we do the trek, we follow that sort of history as well as the history of the resistance against the Indonesians after the Second World War. And so it's a really beautiful place.
Is it hilly or is it?
Yeah, it's mountainous. So Mount Ramelau, which is the highest peak, 3,000 meters. I wouldn't say I nearly died on it, but I underestimated it on one day, and went up there in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and then walked ahead of my local guide, and then all of a sudden it just clouded in, and I couldn't see maybe 2 feet in front of me.
Wow.
And it was freezing cold, and I'm on the top, and on the top of it is a big statue of Mother Mary, and I'm sitting at the base being an atheist going, oh. And
she ain't going to help you,
so
mate.
it's shivering, Obviously I got off, but it's a really beautiful trip. And then we opened up in Europe. Europe's a big part of our business now, and South America, Patagonia and Peru, and sort of just expanding into New Zealand.
I was just going to list all the
New
places
Zealand now, mate.
in the NZ, bro.
Yes, yes.
Choice. What do you do there?
Actually, I'm heading off there next week. So we do Mount Cook, just a trek near Mount Cook, and then we do the Gillespie Pass, which is near Mount Aspiring between near Wanaka.
Yep. Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, yeah. And then we do the Dusky Trail, which is the toughest trek in New Zealand. It's a 5 or 6 day trek.
Where's that?
It's south. It's further south than Milford. And we've got to fly in on a seaplane into Dusky Sound.
Oh,
and then you do a hike over the mountains, and then we get a boat out. So, it's really amazing.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sign up for that one.
Yeah.
It does sound good.
So that's a
doesn't it?
tough trek.
You've also got your homegrown one here in the Grampians too.
Yeah. We run trips to the Grampians with a friend of ours, the Grampians the Peaks Walking Company.
Has that just come on board since COVID?
Last year or the year before.
Yep.
So awesome.
Oh, it's a fantastic. We've got some friends down there. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's only hours from Melbourne, so it's great.
All these places that you go to, how many staff and trekkers do you have on the books? How many people help you to get people where they need to be?
Yeah, so in Papua New Guinea we have like 3 full-time managers, and then we have about 95 guides, local guides. And in Indonesia we have like 3 or 4 full times plus 3 or 4 guides. And then Europe, we have around 10 guides. Nepal, we have maybe 5 or 6 guides and 50 porters, they call them in there. And then Peru is pretty much the same. Some of the places we subcontract out, others we employ directly. But it's a huge group. So during COVID, right, we had to pay a lot of the full-timers anyway.
Yep.
We cut their wages, of course, but we were paying them for 2.5 years with no income at half pay. So just to keep them, because they're so important to us. We knew that we'd come out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And without them,
Yep.
we didn't have a business, right?
Well, the thing is that you've established all this relationship with these guides. You cut them off, you might not get them back, and then you've got to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
How much of your day is taken up with managing guides and tours and just human stuff?
Yeah, well, pretty much.
Probably
most of
more
it.
now, isn't it? Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah, I
pre-COVID,
mean,
you had
our
quite a few
staff
more
level
people.
here is dropped because of COVID, right? So, so we used to have 7, and now we're down to 3. So, so we're managing a lot more now. But yeah, we're trying to balance it all,
Are you back to pre-COVID levels?
Not Kokoda, Europe, we're above pre-COVID levels. Indonesia will probably be the same. Nepal's above. So, yeah, it's getting there.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good. And demographics, age range,
45 to 65, I'd say.
that's
50,
the majority.
50, men, women, pretty much, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, our price is a bit higher than when you went now, but we...
isn't everything?
Yeah. Our prices
I understand
for
that.
everywhere is
Yeah.
quite more expensive than... We're not a budget trekking company anymore.
No.
So
Well, the thing is, you don't want to be...
No.
I don't want to go with a budget company.
No.
And when you're in your 20s and 30s, I think some of the priorities are a bit different, and you're looking for different things.
Yeah, well, you've got your slot in the market.
Yeah.
You're providing the service. You're providing all these treks for people in a certain demographic, and people don't have to worry about money when they're up there. They don't have to. They're not nitpicky. They're not trying to get a discount. They're not. And
Well, I get a lot of trekkers that their kids have finished school, right? And they've sent them to private schools, a lot of them. So there's, one kid's like 25 or 30 grand a year, right?
yep.
And
Well, I don't know, Mav. You're never going to find out. That's never going to be an
that
issue.
happens, right? So you get a lot of people like that.
Yep.
And
Got some spare
they
cash.
got 25 grand a year that we were spending on our kids' education last year, and now we've got it. Well, let's go do something.
For sure.
So that's why the cruise industry was so huge, because people have got that demographic has got the money because they were spending it on their kids. Now, now it's our turn.
Have you done cruises? Would you do
I
cruises?
worked on a cruise, so
you were a stripper, didn't you say you were a stripper on a
It's
no
been a theme, yeah.
nightclub? No, party boat.
Must have been a take one.
I bet.
Yeah, I know.
No, my wife and I worked for APT, which owns boats in Europe. The river
Yeah.
cruises, but
Yep.
they also do cruises around the Pacific and stuff. And they started these exploration or adventure boats, only like 100 berth boats, so really small ships. And they got some of our No Roads guides to be adventure guides on their trip. And I went on their first one.
Cool.
Never let
never
back on the
again.
ship again.
Never again.
No, but some of our guides have stayed on to be guides with them. Like one,
Is that Dot?
Dot Robertson. She's now like really high up in the business. Like she goes all over the world.
It's
That's the
incredible
ultimate.
following them on Facebook.
Yeah,
like, all places.
sort of. But stab me in the head. Like when you're on the boat, that's not my gig, yeah. But
No.
for some people
No.
it is, yeah.
I'm just talking about going all over the world.
Oh yeah.
scenario.
No, it's pretty amazing. She does amazing stuff.
Which in itself sounds amazing, but then travel can be taxing, and it's always good to get home, especially to your own bed.
Yeah.
So if you've got a top 3 treks that you offer, what would they be?
What's the context though for like fun adventure or?
I thought
best
they were all fun and
experience?
adventure.
No, but I mean, if you're wanting something that is exciting, spectacular, and it's a one of a kind thing, or is it about challenge or something else?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
well,
quite different, isn't it?
to be quite honest, I didn't research this question. Well, not to
You're
the
supposed
not
to-
to the well, not to the extent that you want, Justin. What? Just give
But
me
if you said to me,
Give me your top 3.
tomorrow, you can go here. Like, tell me where you want to go tomorrow. If you ask me that question, I would go to the Dolomites in northern Italy.
Okay,
I would tell everybody, come on, you got to bring it up, man. Like,
Justin.
there's-
I mean, Mev. Come
I'll
on,
show
man.
you.
Wake
so
up.
the one on the left is the all of these are the Dolomites now. So just bring that one up.
Wow.
Yeah,
It looks like a postcard.
yeah, and
That's
that's
unbelievable.
Piandecenga. This is a refugio. It's like one of the best refugios in Italy. And it's
Explain what a
mountain-
refugio
It's
is.
a mountain hut.
It's one of those.
Yeah. So it's dorm style. We don't. So we do the Dolomites.
Is it
but-
like a pension in Japan? No. Yes.
Yeah, similar. But and our trip, we only stay in one of these for one night. The other nights are all in a 5-star hotel down the valley behind that mountain. This is what we call a staycation. So we go and stay in this beautiful hotel, and then we just go do day trips up in the mountains and stuff. But one night is here. So this is the Dolomites in northern Italy.
That would be during summer. Am I correct?
Yeah, summer. But we're going to start doing winter trips too. But you don't get up this high. But we're going to do snowshoe trips. So is
Just
there
go
any
out,
other-
Mav.
there's a heap of photos. Like this is
Scroll down. Tell them what you want to see.
Yeah, go the one in the middle.
Yeah, it's just incredible, isn't it?
Wow.
Straight out of The Sound of Music looking sort of thing.
Yeah.
It is.
So these are not really high mountains either. Like they're maybe 2,200 meters. So,
Kosciuszko.
but this I would tell everybody that if I go missing,
That's
go
where you'll
here
be.
first, and then if you can't find me, I'm dead. So
I think the
so
other
the
reason
Dolomites
is lots of trees.
where I will live.
So this trek to the Dolomites,
Mm.
we're flying from Melbourne to where in
To-
Italy?
You'd fly into Rome, but our trip starts in Verona, which is a very romantic city, of course. And so it's
You
Verona.
guys shared a moment there.
We did.
Is there something that
I
I
haven't
should
been
know?
there yet, but
It's Verona, yeah.
Yeah.
So and it's like I think 10 or 11 days.
Go back out, man. Let's have a look at a couple of.
Yeah, if you just go. Left or
Oh,
right,
look
so-
at that! That is absolutely amazing. So that's
And
your
see,
number
there's-
one.
See that one there click on that. So this is one of the activities we do. It's via ferrata. See the people, they're clipped into this cable.
Yep.
Yeah. So via ferrata means iron road in Italian, and it was developed during the First World War to get soldiers up into these mountains to get their equipment and ammunition and all this sort of stuff. Even in the middle, see the middle tower, that's called the Dreisinen. That used to have a cannon on the top of it.
Wow.
And anyway, so this became a sport now. Via ferrata is now all over the world, and it's a sort of a mix between trekking and mountaineering. So it just takes you much higher up into the mountains than a trekking trip does. But you got to wear a helmet and you clip in, and it's you go on these metal stairs, and there's different levels, of course. There's
So
Good
not for
for
the
you.
faint-hearted.
I was going to say fear of heights.
yeah, if
as
you
well,
don't
mate.
like, fear of heights, But this is one of the activities we do on it. So
So you can opt out of that. If you
Yeah. So if you don't want to do that, then you can just do a hike with one of our guides. So we've got a climbing guide and a
Yep.
trekking guide.
And I
Awesome.
remember, Peter, you told me the food is incredible.
Oh, yeah,
The cheeses, the wines.
So you're not going to go there to lose weight.
Well, you're not going to put it on either because you're really active, right? But you just, this is the life, yeah.
I know. Scroll out of that, man. Let's have a look. What else we've got? So Dolomites is number one on the list.
Dolomites in Italy.
What's a close second for you? Come on.
Second.
I thought this was in our pre-prepared.
Yeah. I'm just because I'm really, I really love the Komodo Islands, and that's in Indonesia. So of
I've been
course
there.
we all want to go to. We all go to Bali, and everyone stays in Bali. There you go. That's on the top left. That's it. That's our boat.
The boat.
See the boat in the middle?
In the middle, Mev.
Yeah, so that's our boat. And then we do kayaking. So we kayak through the Komodo National Park and go see Komodo dragons, which is...
So you're living on the boat and you're kayaking during the day?
No, we actually pull into isolated islands, like uninhabited islands, and we have campsites
On the
with
beach.
safari.
You've done this?
Yeah.
I took my
with
family.
safari-style tents and...
In 2000, the next year after our trip, I took my whole family, which were quite young, and we did this whole thing. We did I think it's called the Great Creatures thing, which is Bali is your base.
Yep.
You go to Borneo and you do the orangutan tour, which is up in,
On a boat.
on a boat like that, up little narrow estuaries and stuff, and a creek or river, I guess it is. And you visit the orangutan sanctuaries in captivity and stuff. It's really incredible. Then you come back to Bali, and then you go out and do this, and we snorkeling and kayaking and stuff. And
you see manta rays and dugongs and dolphins,
Clownfish.
And
If my wife is listening to this, this is
It's
up
incredible.
Her wheelhouse.
Yeah, we
So
have
what's
a
the
lot of
best time-
families do this.
What's the best time of year to go?
Any time from April till October, but I think the best time is I'd probably say June onwards.
I think we went July.
What's
Yeah.
the best time to go with our kids?
Any time's the best time to go with our kids.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer. That looks amazing. Have we got any other shots of that, Mev?
Yeah, there's the dragon.
There you go.
People go for the dragons, but they're like third or fourth, maybe fifth on the list of the things they take away from it.
Yeah.
So this is one of the trips so this trip is when you just want to get lost. Like when you're out in the park for 5 days, you're away from everything, and everything just slows to this pace that you become addicted to. You're like, oh wow, this is what it's about.
And if you don't want to kayak, you can jump on the boat.
Yeah,
and
you
just
sit on
lounge
the boat.
around.
It's got a sun deck, and
Yeah. Well, so you can do as much as you want,
read
or
your
as
or
little
as
as you
little,
want.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
the
you'd be
year that
nuts 'cause the
Justin did
kayaking's
it,
awesome.
the year that Justin did it, we had a much smaller boat, but that's a new boat. Yeah. So see if you look at the island. Oh, here we go. There's some snorkeling. There's the snorkeling.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice shot. Go back out again, man. Let's have a look at the other ones. I'm going to put that on my list of things to do.
There's the manta rays.
It's dinner.
Also, just seeing the Indonesian culture, it's different to what we're used to. Just because you get
Great food.
You start off in Flores.
Yep. That's a great part of the world. All right, that's number 2.
That's
Yeah,
number 2.
What's number 3?
What's number 3? Come on.
Oh, number 3.
You've been everywhere.
Okay, this is not necessarily destination, but a thing to do. Is the highlands of Papua New Guinea. So the 4,000 metre peak. So I don't know if you knew this.
No. Well, you put it in. You put it in the email to me.
Yeah.
To talk about it, and I'd never heard about it, so I'm definitely intrigued. So
Yeah.
please do.
So Papua New Guinea has
explain.
12 official 4,000 metre peaks, but we know now because we've done a few of them that it probably has around 30 4,000 metre peaks.
4,000 metres, just to give people context, is high.
Isn't
Very high.
Kosciuszko around 2.2?
2.2, so it's twice the height of Kosciuszko.
So Mount Fuji's about 27, from memory.
Yeah.
Or 29.
No. Fuji is over 3,000.
Oh, is
it's the
it?
highest mountain. Yeah. So it's just over 3,000. But these mountains are higher than Fuji, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they don't have snow because it's on the equator, and they're really super remote, right? So a lot of these mountains we go to, there's not one man-made object that you'll see for days on it. Yeah, and they're really challenging because you've got to get landowner permission to walk, because 99.9% of land in Papua New Guinea is owned by someone, not by the government, and it's incredible. Like, they're beautiful. I don't know. I didn't put any of the pictures in there, actually. I didn't put any pictures. Oh, yeah, I did. See the second one, it says Kokoda. That's not Kokoda. So this is it.
Yeah, the middle one, yeah.
Yeah, this is not Kokoda. This is real. Like, see that village there, that one there? Yeah, we went. We were the first tourists to go there, and they executed a big pig right in front, right in front of my face. It was so shocking.
So they're sort of explorations in some way, because
yeah.
each
no
one's a
done
little
it,
bit unique.
So you said you've done 12.
No, I haven't done all 12. So we've done 4, but we've identified as we've been there more that are there, right? And so this May, it looks like we wanted to go back to Mount Sarawak because we didn't get to the top of it. But we can't get there this year, so we're looking at going to Mount Victoria, which you can actually see from the Kokoda Track. So when you come from Kargi, you go down that really slippery bit down to the creek, and then you go back up to a fogey. I don't know if you remember this.
Nope.
A fogey upper and a fogey
Like
lower.
you're halfway through. You're halfway through the trip, and then if it's a clear day and you look to the right, there's Mount Victoria, and it's over 4,000 meters.
Wow.
So it's going to be an 8-day trip. So yeah, it's so that sort of stuff that's really super challenging. Like if you want a challenge, then
Yep. And
the
these
unknown.
these are tricks that you offer
Yeah. So
currently to
yeah. So sometimes it says the itinerary, we don't know.
Okay.
Day 1 or day 3, not sure.
Whatever.
So you have to go into that mindset that
Yep.
that's the way it is. It's not like a brochure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So-
could probably fill a whole nother one of these episodes with all the stories of his exploration trips because there's some pretty gnarly
I'm
stories.
sure you've lived. How many lives have you lived so far? With all the adventures that you've had. And
volcanoes and
I've got to take my hat off to you, man. I mean, what you've done is you've seen this opportunity, not to just create a business, but to create a life and to create all these memories and achieve all these accomplishments. I was talking, so that's the third time I'm going to praise you. We were talking about permissions, and I've got here in my notes about the permission, like to walk Kokoda, you've got to get permission from local government. Is that correct? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The villages. So you've got a list of people that you need to check off.
That's right.
I mean, it's all managed via an authority that's been set up to do that with permits and stuff. But you are walking on other people's land, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're walking through, not every square inch of Kokoda is owned by somebody.
And there are rangers on there that check that you've got the right permits
Yeah.
and stuff. So you wouldn't have seen any of that, or you might have, but
No,
yeah,
I
carried a
knew
permit.
I knew it was part of the process.
Yeah.
How hard are these to obtain? Is this? Have you had to work to get these authorities to do these tricks, or is it just something that's part of the process?
Well,
and you just
now
go
it's
through
part
it?
of the process, right? But at times when there's tension, that they want more money from the authority or whatever, then you need to.
You say they. We're talking about the
the
locals,
villages, yeah,
the villages.
Then you call out your past with them, basically your reputation with them, and normally that works.
Yep.
So because we put back, so we do a lot of work along the track and in other parts of Papua New Guinea with the No Roads Expeditions Foundation. So we take doctors and nurses to Papua New Guinea to provide medical support and to mentor local health facilities and what have you. So, yeah,
This is something that you've done off your own back.
yeah, and now that's a separate entity now, but I'm a board member of it and it has board members. Yeah,
Yep.
and then and we take doctors and nurses to PNG. We were taking people to Myanmar or Burma, but before the government or the military junta took over a few years ago, we've been doing stuff in Indonesia. So yeah, we do a lot of this sort of stuff.
So as well as taking, you're giving.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for us normal people, yes, that's how it should work,
Yeah.
shouldn't it?
It's also, I think, parts of fees go towards environmentally friendly projects and all that sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
remember in Indonesia and the Komodo dragon trip, picking up rubbish at one spot because it was something to do in that particular village to help them out.
Yeah.
Just little things like that all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, I think you have to do that. I mean, you've got to be part of the community. So that's what we do. Yeah.
Well, that to have that as part of your culture and your ethos
Yeah.
is just, I'd say, amazing. But I expect that that's how it should be anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it glosses over them and they're not even aware.
Well,
it's not even on the radar.
The bottom line shouldn't be profit, right?
No.
So that's one bottom line. The other bottom lines are, well, what are you going to do to give back, or how are you going to make the communities that you are involved with better, or how are you going to help out some individuals that you're working with? How are you going to make their life better, and not just through pay, maybe some opportunities. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's all of that sort of stuff. I think but a lot of companies do that now. I think, I hope they do it.
That makes you
but
proud.
it's certainly part.
That makes you proud.
I guess I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. It's just how I do things.
Yep.
That's how I live most of my life. So it just sort of is.
And you've seen it firsthand, Justin.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, look, the kind of people that want to work for him are people that share similar values. And, at one stage, I think there would have been about 25, 26 Australian guides that are all casual, all putting their hand up to go and work. And, there's something we get out of it because we're over there having this wonderful experience, sharing it with all the trekkers like yourself. And you're doing Kokoda, which is a passion for a lot of people. But then there's also this sense of family with the company as well. Around, we all share, we all help each other out, but we also have the similar values. So we get caught up in the movement.
Yeah. I call it a cult.
And once you're in, you can't fucking
call it,
leave.
wearing
you
the
might
cult
call it a
top at the
company. I
moment.
call it a cult.
You've got to die on the you got to die on the trail. You were talking about experiences and the culture. What are some of the highlights for you as a trekker? Or sorry, as a
Well,
what's your official title? It's
look, expedition guide or something
Expedition.
like that. Yeah, Mister. Look, when you get to the end of a trek and you see all the smiles on people's faces, so first of all, everyone gets out. Well, that's a good thing. But the bus trip back and you're seeing everyone having a bit of a snooze on the way back, and they're so happy about how they've been going on. The beers and hot dogs at the end. It's not a restaurant meal, but it's just like everyone's hoeing into it and they're just telling all their stories about, I remember the time we did this. So sharing the excitement of people and their experiences is what I get out of it. Also, I reckon actually, I consider most of the porters and the local guides and the operations team over in PNG is really good friends. I was communicating constantly with them during COVID on Facebook and stuff, and feeling really bad we couldn't keep up with them. So getting to go back and see your friends every year is something we really get out of it. I would say every single one of our guides has got a passion around the military history and the importance of that to us, but also the jungle and the people and the sense of pilgrimage for Australians to go over there and share our excitement and our enthusiasm about taking people along the track. That's what I get out of it. And it's a big adventure every year. It's different every time. It's about like a bag of, licorice all sorts when we get at the airport and we go, okay, who are we going to get this time? You see them all getting off the plane and you go, oh, good. Ooh,
what did you think? What did you think when you saw me?
Oh, all good. I mean, I thought, cool, we've got someone who's a New Zealand sounding dude, and we had Stu who was firing up already on day one. We heard all
I
about
actually
that
I didn't talk to anybody until we arrived in PNG. I knew there was.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say scared, but I was like, I knew what I was walking into. It was just, I'm not ready to engage just yet. Then and you do that as a human. You gauge the situation and you assess it, and then you go, all right, this is where I'm going to slot in.
Yeah.
This is my part I'm going to play, and that's exactly how that works.
There's even times where I'm at Brisbane Airport and I won't wear a No Roads top. I know I'm the guide and I can see No Roads people and I won't talk
that's
to
very
them.
clever. I always made that mistake and then they all come and talk to me.
Yeah, only because I'm not ready. Because as a guide, you have to play a role, right?
Yeah.
And it may not be you, like it's you, but it's a part of you, yeah. So and I may not be ready to be that part yet.
Yep.
So
I fully understand.
I have to get into that. I have to get into that mode.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get to Port Moresby, I've psyched myself into, because being a guide is really tough. Being a guide is a really tough gig. Like the first thing you do when you go back to Port Moresby and get into that room is you close the door and I just collapse on the bed like.
Big sense of relief.
Oh, no one asking me questions. No one this, no one that. Like even at night time, going into the tent, it's like, it's my time.
Yeah.
It's my space.
Well, that's
because
what-
you are consumed.
You're always on.
There's
Yeah.
no other job.
Yeah.
Is there?
No.
Like as soon as you wake up, you've got to get things ready, and then you've got people coming to you all day, and their life is on the line in a sense.
Technically.
You're thinking
Technically,
ahead of what's coming
Always
up.
trying to
and-
think.
Yeah.
History, and then there's all of the other stuff, lunch, and then dinner, and it's not until you go to your tent that you can sort of relax. But hey, Bob in the other tent has been vomiting all day, so
I was going to say
maybe there's
snoring
going to
all
be a
night.
problem.
Yeah, I was
Or-
going to say snoring
You
too.
know what I mean? It's not until you get back to Port
Yeah.
Moresby.
Yeah.
Sorry about the sound.
No, you're right.
But they you fully relax. My little secret is when I get to Port Moresby checking in,
Yeah.
I get the person at the front desk to order me a bowl of chips and a Coke
Oh, yeah.
and send it to my room as I'm checking in.
Yeah.
So when I get there,
Yep.
within a few minutes, it's there,
all there.
and I've just got salt all over it. And
Well, otherwise, it could be a couple of hours later. The other thing is just meeting all the different people. Like I've had the privilege of taking about 110 people across the track now, and that's not as many as this guy here. From a small trip of 5 through to 20 people in the trip, which is our max.
Yep.
And every single trip has been incredible because of the different sorts of people. I mean, there's a guy called Jiffy that was on my second trip from South Australia. He pulled out a suit, an old-fashioned blue suit, at Alola and got dressed for dinner because he's a crazy mother. And he got out of the tent wearing a suit and came to dinner. Everyone's like,
Was it a safari suit?
it was exactly a safari suit.
Fucking perfect.
Yeah, I should have brought a photo because and he was a character. He had these big orange sunglasses. Everyone loved him on the trip, and we had to go. Come on!
I've
we've
got
to
some photos of people dressing funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, bring that one up. Yeah,
But
because we were
that's an
talking
example.
about that.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest? Are we going to see any naked bodies?
Mav, are you
Mav,
falling
hello.
asleep?
Hello.
He's falling asleep. Mav's
Firing
falling
up the
asleep,
mouse.
everyone.
He's on TikTok.
There he. So,
Oh yeah, look.
so click
Oh,
on- there we
nice.
go. So there's the guide was telling the story.
Wait a minute, go back with that one. So who's the guide? The guy with the...
No, you can't see him.
Oh.
Everyone's surrounding him, and he's telling the story. And this guy took off all his kit and just walked up and just standing there like
As you
this,
do.
and everyone goes double take. You know,
Yeah.
I hate dudes like that.
Remember,
Seriously.
one of our leaders was having a dump on the dunny in Cargie.
oh, that's right, Hayden.
Yeah, stripped down naked and got.
Yeah, so they were building these toilets at Cargie, and they hadn't put the walls on yet, and so one of our guides stripped off and sat on the toilet and had a newspaper or something like this, right? And then so got I don't know who took the photo, but one of my other guides got the photo of it and entered it into a competition with Anaconda, and he won $15,000 worth of
was
stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, there's a couple other photos.
Go back at Mav.
There's these couple.
Go to the left.
Yeah, this couple.
Speaking of taking clothes off,
This is actually one of my guides and his wife, Dean and Ro Opie. And they dressed as Roman legionnaires. This is in the Dolomites. But they did the Tour de Mont Blanc as well.
did they wear that while they were trekking?
Yeah, they took the whole group on. If you go back again, Mav, and you'll see go to the right. Yeah, that's
The right.
That's
the
it.
right. There you go.
Yeah, he took this group, and they went on the Tour de Mont Blanc, and they dressed one day as like Heidi and whatever. He wore a lederhosen, the leather.
Yep.
Yeah, here, and she wore the
my
dundle.
God.
That was one day because we were in Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
That's grouse.
And then another day they were in Italy, and he dressed as a priest and she dressed as a nun, and they actually walked past these nuns, and the nuns weren't happy at all.
No.
Right. So yeah, they got dressed up, and then I couldn't find it, but one guy walked either a day or in Cargie in a Borat swimsuit.
Oh, that was in Minari, actually.
Minari, was
it? He ran down the runway wearing it.
That's it.
I mean, we've seen a video of this, and look, to be really honest, it's not really in keeping with the locals' traditions and
No,
stuff, but
no.
occasional little slip-ups like that. Anyway, he ran down the runway in his mankini, a lime green one.
Yeah, of
and
course
the
it's
porters all
lime
just
green.
lost it. They were going, they've never seen anything like that before. I mean, everyone should
What's
lose it.
that? That's now Kawa, crazy white man, isn't it?
Oh, wow, I haven't heard of that.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. That's what they called stew. Now Kawa. If I
actually,
if
that
I
does ring
remember
a
that
bell.
correctly.
Yeah,
So Peter, we were talking about highlights in your illustrious career. What would be up there for you? I'm sure there's many, but if you can pick one out, that'd be awesome.
Wow. Highlights. Wow. It's. I mean, to be honest with you, it's really difficult. I'm really sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Like, I mean, there's been some amazing experiences that I've had, but whether they're, for me, this sounds really mundane, right? This sounds really mundane, but I did Kili, and Kili's not a really. I mean, it's a nice mountain, but it's nothing.
Explain Kelly.
Kilimanjaro, yeah.
There you go, just for
So,
our listeners
Mount
and our viewers.
Kilimanjaro. So I went and did it, and it's a nice mountain, but it's nothing fantastic. Yeah,
You wouldn't rate
for
it's
me.
not in your top three, obviously.
No, it's Mount Kilimanjaro is like a really good-looking girl from a distance. You know when you're walking on the street. and
Tread carefully here.
yeah.
No,
Long
but you
range
know when you
forecast.
see a girl and from the distance, you go, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yes.
But as you get closer,
Mm-hmm.
you go, "Oh, okay."
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah. So Kili's like that. So really beautiful from the distance, but when you actually get up on the mountain, it's like,
Because Kelly's a big one for a lot of people, isn't it?
well, it's 5,800 metres. It's massive mountain.
Yeah,
Big,
yeah.
higher than Everest Base Camp. Oh, actually, I'm going to tell you my highlight. But
I was going to
I'll
say, what's
tell
the
you in a
highlight
sec.
now?
There you
I'll tell
go.
you-
This
I
is
will
what
tell you my-
happens. We draw it out of
okay,
you.
so I'll tell you my highlight is I walked to Everest Base Camp with my son.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
How old was your son?
He was 18. He just finished VCE.
Yep.
And that was my thing for him is let's go do Everest.
Yep.
Not Everest, but Everest Base
Base
Camp.
camp, yeah.
And
I mean, that in
to
itself is amazing,
spend
though, isn't it?
18 days, just him and me. That's it. You know, it was awesome.
That's a good
Talking the
highlight.
crap.
Yeah.
Talking, just being with each other and
Just bonding.
him, looking to me because he was not feeling well a couple of days. And yeah, I would say that was my highlight. It's sort of those family things, like those things that are, like going to the Komodos with my kids.
I was going to say mine's that family trip.
Yeah.
We always talk about it.
Yeah, going to the Komodos with my kids was just nice. Like just sitting there going, wow, this is where I love being. And
Yeah.
hey, my
And
kids
I've got
are
my
here.
family with you. Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Yeah,
Mav, 18 years old, what would you want to do? You want to do Kokoda or you want to go Everest Base Camp? Have you got anything?
I don't mind.
You don't
Say
mind?
both.
Typical teenager, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do all of them then. How about that? Just
You
me
do
and
them
you,
all.
buddy.
5 more years.
Man, that's going to fly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What year's Mavian?
What are you, mate? 8?
8.
9?
9 this year.
I when I was
Yeah.
doing Kokoda, there was a father and son, Tim and his son
Oh, yeah, Tim and Daniel.
from Tasmania,
Yeah.
and I go, yep, I could come back here with my son.
They, I think that was a really important thing for them too, just like you just said.
Yeah.
I can't remember why, but I know that really helped in whatever their problems were, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, even if you don't have problems, it's about giving your son the opportunity to experience something that he may not experience,
Yeah.
Yep.
and you want to hope that he's going to take at least something away from it. His journey's just starting.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, here, let's just start it off with this, and then it sort of gives you some perspective. And it's about kids that have never been out of Australia or never been to a non-English speaking country. Look, we're off to Japan, and the beauty about it is that Japan, Mav learns Japan at school, Japanese. So perfect opportunity
Absolutely,
to
yeah.
put this into play and then just get an idea of what it's like not in Australia.
I do remember a couple of couples that have said at the end, like, this has been really important for us as a couple to rebond, reconnect and all that sort of stuff, which is pretty special.
Kokoda.
Yeah, just doing it together.
Jeepers.
I was going to say, that's
Tough.
isn't it? I mean, it's like having a baby when your relationship's in
It worked for them.
a shitty way. It's not.
I had a couple that weren't a couple,
But they were afterwards.
but they were afterwards. 2 years in a row. That was their rendezvous point.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
What stays on the track should stay on the track.
exactly.
I didn't mention names.
No, of course you wouldn't. No, you were just about to, were you? No. It was John and Mary from
How did you know? I told you not
from
to say anything.
Tasmania.
Yeah,
and we could tell because they had the scars on the side of their head where they chopped the heads off at birth.
That's terrible.
Shouldn't say that. Being a New Zealander.
Yeah. I know. Look, my journey in the podcast world is early, and I know I'm going to say something to fuck it all up at one stage. So I think you've just got.
Now.
I think you just got to have a mindset like, sure,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand on my own toes, fall on my face, but you know what? I'm going to pick myself back up again.
If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. So,
Exactly. Have you got any other gems?
no, I just know that one.
It's
That's not even mine.
It's amazing.
guys, I think we've done pretty well. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it's been great.
As I said, it's been a long time coming. Thank you very much for giving up your time.
No props.
Really enjoyed time. Great to see you again.
Yes.
And yourself. I think we can probably stay in touch and maybe do this again at some time. At some point,
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you're
We've
happy.
got heaps more to talk about.
Well, yeah, we have. There's definitely a couple more episodes in there, so we won't bore everybody to tears
There's
today.
some other guides that would be really funny to chat to, I reckon.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
some
yeah, no, there's-
absolute characters in our...
Well, I think
Yeah.
now we need to get the message out that we want to talk to people. That's what we do here. We want people sitting there having fun, enjoying themselves, telling the tales, and educating our listeners, because that's what it's all about. If I can give something back, if we can give something back like you do to everything that you do, that's I'm happy. That's going to make me happy. So as I said,
Absolutely.
once again, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thanks for having us, yeah.
That's a wrap, Mav.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in and for your time. You know the vibe, I'm steady living until I die. It's a loose state of mind and we showed you that. Keep it authentic and real, I hope you coming back. Hey, make sure that you subscribe, cause we got it popping all the time and it's going down. If you wanna elevate, wanna live a better life, keep it locked here. You know it's a loose state of mind, let's go.